Prices on everyday items have been climbing for a while now, not just in the past few years, but over the last few decades. Most people are well aware of it, and at a certain point, some things have gotten so expensive that they just don't feel worth the money anymore. What are some of the most common things people are starting to skip because of the price tag? Fast food. It's rivaling sit-down prices. Fast food prices have quietly crept up so much that it's no longer the cheap option it once was. A basic combo meal can easily run you $12 to $15, comparable to the amount you'd pay to sit down at a restaurant and eat with real silverware. Fast food was never about gourmet quality, but it used to be affordable and convenient. You could grab a hot meal quickly through the drive-thru or pop inside for a fast bite without spending much. Not only have prices skyrocketed, but portion sizes have shrunk. The meals seem smaller and less satisfying. On top of that, ordering has become less straightforward. You often have to place your order through an app, use a self-service kiosk, or interact with a rushed employee juggling multiple customers. Add it all up, and just for two people, you could easily spend $30 or $40. At that point, the fast and cheap convenience doesn't feel quite so convenient or cheap anymore. Most snack food and candy. These have become some of the worst value for money items in the store. A regular-sized container of Doritos or Cheez-Its now cost $6, $7, or even $8 in many places. And that's for a bag that's half air and maybe contains 5 actual handfuls of product. For a long time, these snacks were considered cheap, everyday items you could toss in your cart without thinking twice, but now they're creeping into indulgence territory. When you can buy a full meal for the price of a single bag of chips, it starts to feel ridiculous. Candy is no better. $3 for a king-size bar or even $2 for a small pack of M&Ms adds up fast, especially for families. It's not just about the price increase. It's the fact that the quality and quantity haven't improved one bit. Brands have quietly shrunk the package sizes while raising the price, hoping people won't notice. At this point, many people are cutting back, not for health reasons, but because it just doesn't make sense financially anymore. Snacks are more like occasional treats rather than everyday items. Cars. New cars. The average price for a new car is around $48,000, and even used cars that are 5 or 6 years old often go for over $25,000. That's a massive amount of money for something that loses value the second you drive it off the lot. Many people end up signing 6, 7, or even 8-year loans just to keep monthly payments manageable, stretching their budgets so thin it's barely sustainable, and often for a car that might not last the full loan term. On top of that, new cars just don't seem as durable as they used to be. Manufacturers are cutting corners, putting smaller engines in, and building vehicles that don't last nearly as long as ones from a decade or two ago. It's getting more and more difficult to find a reliable used car for $10,000. Now, that kind of money barely gets you something roadworthy. Unless you absolutely need a new ride, more people are realizing it's smarter to keep their current car running as long as possible, looking into alternative ways to get around, or just hold off buying altogether. It's not that cars don't have value, but at these prices, they just don't seem worth it anymore. Vacations. Vacations used to be the classic treat-yourself option, something affordable enough to look forward to once or twice a year. But nowadays, even taking a modest trip can cost a small fortune. For example, a weekend getaway for 2 at a mid-range hotel might easily run $800 to $1,200 just for lodging, not including meals or entertainment. Flights alone can add $300 to $600 per person for domestic trips, and international travel often doubles or triples that. Then factor in dining out, activities, transportation, and a simple 3 to 4 day trip can quickly balloon to $2,000 or more. Even budget vacations are harder to pull off without serious planning or cutting back elsewhere. If you have a family, forget about it. That's why a lot of people are reconsidering vacations as something truly special rather than a regular expense. Normal families aren't taking an annual summer vacation to the beach or their annual spring break to Disney unless they want to blow through an entire year of mortgage payments. Branded clothing. Brand name clothes come with a hefty price tag. Just one shirt or a pair of pants can easily cost over $100, sometimes even several $100s depending on the brand. When you're buying more than just a single piece, say a pair of jeans, a couple of shirts, and a jacket, these costs multiply quickly, and before you know it, your wardrobe expenses reach well into the thousands. Then people start wondering why their paycheck disappears so fast. There are definitely some brand name pieces that are worth the investment. High-quality materials, better craftsmanship, and a perfect fit can make a difference in how long a garment lasts and how comfortable it feels. A quality item can last a long time and be well worth the money, but not every branded item lives up to that value. A lot of times, you're paying a premium simply for the label, not necessarily for durability or timeless style. And in reality, you could get the exact same product without the name for a fraction of the cost. Plus, the trend cycle pushes people to constantly update their closet with the latest logo or design, which can turn spending on branded clothing from an occasional splurge into a recurring expense that strains your finances. It's easy to lose track of how much you're actually spending when each item costs so much, especially if you're buying multiple things at once. And how many of those items just end up sitting in your closet after hardly being used? That's money that could have been saved, invested, or used elsewhere. So while branded clothing can offer quality and style, it's important to be mindful of how much you're spending overall and to make sure you're getting true value for your money, not just a logo on a tag. Movies. I just wait until I can watch it at home. I don't even enjoy the theater experience anymore. A single movie ticket runs $15 or $20, sometimes even more for a premium format like IMAX or 3D. Then you add $10 for popcorn and $8 for a soda. Throw in candy, and you're looking at $40 or more just to sit and watch a couple of hours on a big screen. The cost to bring a family of 4 could easily cost $100 for a 2-hour experience. It's becoming harder to justify, and it's making more sense to wait for the movie to hit streaming services and enjoy it in the comfort of your own home, where you can pause, rewind, and snack without breaking the bank. Plus, no sticky floors, loud neighbors, or lines in the bathroom. The theater experience just doesn't feel worth it anymore when the cost piles up like that. Restaurant food. Restaurant food in general used to feel like a special treat, a chance to relax, enjoy a meal with friends and family, and enjoy the fact that you didn't have to cook or clean up after. But lately, that feeling is fading. Not only is dining out at sit-down restaurants becoming increasingly expensive, but the quality of food and overall experience often leaves a lot to be desired. With rising costs for ingredients, labor shortages, and higher rent, even a basic meal at many restaurants can easily top $20 or more per person. Add in drinks, appetizers, or dessert, and the bill can quickly climb much higher. On top of that, bad service has become pretty common. Long wait times, inattentive staff, or mix-ups with orders. Yet the expectation to leave a 20% or more tip remains. Pretty soon you're left wondering how regular people can manage to afford eating out as often as they do. What used to be a relaxing, occasional treat can now feel like a stressful financial choice, causing many to rethink just how often they step foot into a restaurant.